Okay, this is story time. So, I'm going to start with once upon a time there was a daft fitter who looked after Land Rover Defender Pumas for a big electricity company. And he serviced the vehicle and he put some brake discs on and some brake pads and needed a half shaft because he found that the half shaft of the flange was worn. He'd made a video of it the week before and showed you what it was about and was waiting for the half shaft from Land Rover. So when he got the half shaft, he fitted the half shaft to find that the vehicle had no drive because the half shaft on the side at the rear was too short. The Land Rover people at Land Rover had supplied the wrong part. Isn't that a surprise? Well, anyway, this daft mechanic went back to Land Rover to say that the part was wrong. They had a look on the list and said they would order another part. So when it came, put it on the bench, and it looked a bit strange. It didn't look like it would do. There wasn't a drive flange or a half shaft. It was all in one drive flange and half shaft. Thinking this might not be right, although it would be a good alternative, or it could have been off an older vehicle, the daft mechanic says, could you sort this out and let me know what was going on? So the daft mechanic went back to the workshop, he got on with some other jobs, and 3 days later he went back to Land Rover to find some blank looks. The stores people didn't know what to say. We had a shiny knight that came in from the workshop with Land Rover overalls on and said, oh yeah mate, that's a modification on the last load of Defenders. What they do is they omitted the drive flange and they just made the thing all in one, so all you do is just shove that in and away you go. Well, isn't that a surprise? The parts people looked really shocked. They didn't know what to say. This Land Rover mechanic really knew his stuff, and the daft mechanic went back after the stores people had ordered the right part, and then he fitted the drive shaft with the flange attached, and everything was happy. The customer was a little bit annoyed because he had to wait a long time for his Land Rover instead of the parts people supplying the parts the first time, but they didn't know, did they? So what this daft mechanic did, he went to Brookwell's, he rang them up and he asked them about the parts, what the availability of them were, and to their surprise he got some part numbers. So this daft mechanic has got the part numbers just here, and I'll read them out. So you have LR 072976, which is your driver's side or your right hand drive shaft attached with flange or one piece. The other side is LRO 72977, which is the other side, which is the long side, which will be your left hand side. Surprisingly, these are actually older parts as well. Now the Discoveries and the Range Rovers, about the 200 TDI era, they have the same arrangement, but the drive shafts are a little bit thinner. The price difference between these is one is £300 per drive shaft, the other one is about £40 from Brookwell's, and they fit if they're 24 spline. So we'll give you the part numbers here because Brookwell's really know what they're doing. Okay, so here's the part numbers: FTC 3270 and FTC 3271. So if you have problems with drive flanges and drive shafts and you want a good solution, then go to Brookwell's. That's the only solution I've found out anyway. So there you go. Moral of the story is that you really do need to know your shit, don't you? Okay, so anyway, there's a story for you. See you later.